Okay, so this is going to be just kind of like a material list of the things that you need to have on hand as you're crocheting. This is just absolute basic stuff that you need. I mean, the first thing you need is a hook. There are so many different kinds and styles and materials. My favorite is this style. It has a flatter surface right here, the hook part, and this one down here seems to catch the yarn and split it more. So I kind of only use these when I absolutely have to. They come in plastic, they come in metal. I've gotten some on Etsy that are wooden, bamboo stuff. So just whatever you're comfortable with and whatever works best for you is what I suggest going with. Most basic, like if you're using a medium weight yarn, which is 4 strands, typically the gauge calls you to use like between an I and a K size hook. A lot of that's really going to depend on how tight you crochet. I am a very tight crocheter, so I tend to have to use larger hooks. So it just depends on a lot of factors. The weight of your yarn. Not all medium weight yarns are the same. I've had some where they seem thinner than others. So you just kind of have to look at a pattern and see what the gauge is. That's why the next thing is important. You want to have a tape measure. So you can measure your gauges. You can measure, if you're doing hats, you can measure the diameter of the crown, the sizing basically. So make sure that you're getting the sizing right. You can use a basic like sewing ruler tape measure. That's what I initially used until I found this one. I like it because you just push this little button and it rolls back up. So you definitely need one of these. It's very handy to have. Definitely have a pair of scissors on hand, because eventually you're gonna have to cut your yarn. And then these are stitch markers. You don't typically need them a lot when you're doing just like a scarf or anything like that. These really come in more handy if you're doing like the crochet dolls and sometimes on hats and stuff like that. So you don't always need these, but they're very handy to have just in case, especially if you have to stop in the middle of your work. So these aren't necessary, but they're definitely handy to have around. So those are just the absolute basics that you need around to start crocheting.